For 22 nights I lay completely still next to my wife and pretended to be asleep. She thought I was unconscious within minutes of my head hitting the pillow. I wasn't. I was listening. And by night 22, I had heard enough to understand that the life I thought I was living wasn't real. My name is James. I'm 41. We've been married 11 years. It started with one night when I woke up at 2 a.m. and heard her whispering in the bathroom. I assumed she was on a work call. Different time zone. I went back to sleep. The next night it happened again. And the night after that. On the fourth night I didn't go to sleep at all. I controlled my breathing. I kept my eyes closed. And I listened. She waited exactly 18 minutes after I stopped moving. Then she got up, went to the bathroom, and made a call. I couldn't hear the words. Just the tone. It wasn't a work call. I didn't confront her. Not that night. Because I realized something: if I confronted her now, I would get one answer. One story. Carefully constructed. But if I waited, if I kept pretending, I would get the truth. So I waited. Night 5. Night 8. Night 12. I learned his name on night 9. I learned how long it had been on night 14. 2 years and 4 months. I learned that she had told him things about our marriage that I had never told anyone. Private things. Painful things I had shared with her in moments of vulnerability. On night 17 she said something that I still hear in complete silence sometimes. She said, "He has no idea. He never will." By night 20 I had spoken to a lawyer. By night 21 I had opened a separate bank account and moved 3 months of living expenses into it. On night 22 I pretended to sleep one final time. Let her make her call. Let her say goodnight to him. Let her come back to bed and fall asleep next to me. Then I got up quietly, went to the kitchen, made coffee, and sat at the table until morning. When she came downstairs I was sitting there with a single printed page in front of me. It was a timeline. Dates. Locations. Specific phrases I had memorized from 22 nights of listening. I placed it on the table facing her. I said, "I've been awake the whole time. I have never seen someone's face change that completely in a single second." She tried several things in the following minutes. Denial. Then partial admission. Then the version where she was the victim of her own loneliness. I let her finish. Then I told her that I had already spoken to a lawyer. That I had documentation. That the conversation we were having was not about whether we would divorce, that had already been decided, but about how we were going to do it. She asked me how long I had known. I told her, 22 days. She asked me how I had stayed so calm for 22 days. I told her, the same way you stayed calm for 2 years and 4 months. She had nothing to say to that. The divorce took 7 months. It was not friendly, but it was not catastrophic either. I kept the apartment. She kept the car and a debt she hadn't told me about. People ask me if I regret the 22 nights. If I should have just confronted her immediately. No. Those 22 nights gave me something that an immediate confrontation never would have: complete clarity. I walked into that divorce knowing exactly what had happened, exactly for how long, and exactly what I was dealing with. She walked in already caught. The question I want to ask you is this: if you suspected something was wrong, would you confront immediately? Or would you wait and gather everything first? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know.